Now, we've covered a lot of material. We've talked about how we view the world, the importance of nonverbal behavior, how it affects us every day, how people are viewing us, how we view others, how we can interpret this information. We've looked at comfort, discomfort. We've looked at intention cues. We've looked at confidence displays. Now we come into that one area that I'm always asked about, which I think is the most difficult area to talk about, and that is deception. Can you truly use nonverbal behavior for detecting deception? The first thing we need to realize when we talk about deception and lying and so forth is that deception and lying is something that we do every day. From the parent who says to the child who answers the phone, tell them we're not home, to whatever your beliefs are and whatever it is that you tell your children about Santa Claus. We, in fact, lie all the time. We lie with our clothing. Shoulders are never really this wide. We use padding. We use all sorts of things throughout life to deceive others for social purposes, because we really can't tell somebody what we really feel about them because it may hurt their feelings. So these are often referred to as white lies. So as a species, we do tell a lot of lies. But for the most part, we take assurance that most of us are honest, if not most of the time, all of the time, except for these very specific circumstances. Over the years, especially when I got into the FBI, there was a lot of emphasis on using nonverbals to elicit or evince deception. And here's what we found after 30 years of looking at this stuff. Number one is that there is no indicator. There is no single behavior indicative of deception. And number two, most of us are not very good at detecting deception. In fact, the research tells us that we are, all of us, you and myself included, and I've studied this for a long time, we are no better at detecting deception than a coin toss. That means 50-50. So a lot of times the behaviors that we see somebody talking, they're touching their mouth, or we see somebody and their eyes are shifting or so forth. What we're seeing are behaviors associated with discomfort, but that discomfort can be from what they're thinking, the question that you ask, your own intrusiveness. Maybe you shouldn't be asking this question. Maybe you're sitting too close to this person. So these are all significant things that affect us. And so when it comes to behaviors that are indicative of deception, the bottom line is this: there is no Pinocchio effect. There simply is no single behavior indicative of deception. But what can we look for? What we can look for is the very things we have talked about so far. Behaviors that show comfort and discomfort. Truthful people tend to look comfortable. Truthful people tend to look confident. Truthful people tend to emphasize. Those that are deceptive, those that are lying to us, those that are trying to deceive, will look less comfortable. They will look less emphatic. They will look less confident. But there may be many reasons why that person feels that way. So the best that we can do is look for these signs of comfort and discomfort, and when we see discomfort displays, is ask ourselves, well, why is it? Is it because they don't like what they're talking about, or is it because they are being deceptive? And it's always difficult to know. So the best thing we can do is ask and ask and ask and ask for additional details, and hopefully that will evince that information.